At this time, I'd like to call the meeting to order. Amy, may we have roll call, please?
Robin Bartleman,
Here.
Kathy Donnelly,
Present.
Beam Fur,
Here.
Kenneth Gillespie,
Here.
David Kitten,
Here.
Don Liberta,
Here.
Tom Powers,
Here.
Robert Runcie, Maria Schneider,
Here.
Paula Thatchy, Jeffrey Wood. A quorum has been established.
Me? Okay, as is our tradition here at Children's Services Council, we'd like to take a moment to arrive at our meeting today. If I can ask everyone to take a deep breath and clear your mind and focus on the work we're going to do here at Children's Services today. So a deep breath, everybody, please. Okay, thank you, everybody. Well, again, a warm welcome to everyone, and for those of you who are joining us from your homes and your living rooms in our new Zoom world, welcome to everybody. As you will see, we have an agenda packed with future comments, future tracking for our meeting today. We're going to talk about 2021, what's coming up with our calendars, etc. And in our preparation for our meeting today, Cindy and I were speaking yesterday, and we're talking about our new slate of officers, which will come into effect in January. I can't believe we're talking January already, and that we've all sat in our existing officer seats for 2 years. We would like to suggest to the council that we bring a little more structure, if you can say, to our process. And we're going to suggest that we have a nominating committee that would obviously nominate the new slate for 2021. They would meet in November and bring the nominating committee suggestions to the committee in the January meeting. So just be a little more organized and kind of Johnny on the spot that we've done in the past. So any comments, any questions, any ideas that you'd like to discuss for that? And if not, then we will be looking for volunteers. You can volunteer to sit on the nominating committee by adding in the chat your willingness to participate or emailing Amy. So that would be great. And that will take place first meeting in November of the committee, and going forward, January will be the opportunity to vote. Okay. Moving forward, I'd like to ask under tab 23 for the approval of the council minutes from September 24th, 2020. Can I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Angie, is there any public comment? Angie?
No comment.
Thank you, Angie. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Abstention, motion carries. Under tab 24, our trim minutes from September 24th, 2020. May I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Angie, any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No abstention, motion carries. Okay, I'm going to ask for approval for the cancellation of our December meeting. If approved, staff will make sure that all remaining items on the 2020 calendar are brought to the council for approval on our November 19th meeting. Please note that our November meeting will more than likely be required to be in person. Members will have to be physically present to establish a quorum. It's anticipated that the governor will not extend his order waiving that requirement, and we will know by the end of the month whether he will or will not. If it is the case that he does not extend, we'll make arrangements to safely hold the meeting in our boardroom, similar to what we did in March, with people at least 6 feet apart and all the precautions taken. You will have to wear your masks, etc. CEO will be at the speakers table, and any staff members, etc., wish to join can do so virtually via Zoom. Any members of the public who wish to attend in person and not via Zoom they do so safely in one of our training rooms close to the meeting. Masks again will be required by everybody in the building. So may I have a motion to approve the cancellation of the December meeting?
Absolutely. So moved.
Second.
Second.
Thank you, Beam. He almost fell off his couch there. But
Almost.
Way too much enthusiasm for that.
exactly. That's our discussion. Any further discussion on that? Okay, Angie, any public comment?
No public comment.
In favor?
Sorry about that.
Aye.
Thank you.
Aye.
We're the ones, the
Aye.
staff are the ones who are supposed to be that excited about it,
I know.
not the board member.
So, and no nays and no abstentions. Motion carries. Thank you, everybody. Okay, under tab 25, to approve the council calendar for 2021. Please note that the September meeting with trim hearings are tentative. Those dates end up conflicting with the school board or the county trim dates. We will have to choose different dates for our trim hearing. All members should currently have the CSC generated Outlook appointment on their calendars, third Thursday of every month. Amy will adjust the September 2021 meeting appointments after today's meeting. If you don't see those calendar appointments on your calendars, please let Amy know as soon as possible. Under tab 25, may I have a motion, please, to approve the 2021 council calendar?
So move.
Second.
Thanks, Tom, for the second. Any discussion? Angie, any public comment?
No public comment.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? There are no abstentions. Motion carried. And Amy, I see that Dr. Thatchy has joined us. Please mark her present. Okay. We will note the President and CEO evaluation will come into your mailboxes email tomorrow. All council members will receive the President and CEO self-evaluation and evaluation survey to be completed and returned by Monday, November 2nd. The results will be considered by the Executive Committee at our meeting on Monday, November 7th, and committee recommendations will be considered by the full council on the November 19th meeting. So look out for that in your mailbox tomorrow, and please make it a priority to get it filled out and sent back. We would appreciate that. Okay. You're going to be very disappointed now, everybody. The annual report photo that we all love to get taken is not going to happen this year. Instead, we're going to use your photos from last year, so we'll all look eternally young for another year. If you choose not to use the photo that you've had posted, which is you will be able to see it. It's currently on our website. If you want to make a change and add a new photo, you're welcome to, but please get that to Amy as soon as possible.
I think we should do a Zoom photo.
Yes, that's right. Just click us all on it. That's a good idea. We should.
I think it'd be perfect.
Masks on. Okay, now we have a treat, or it's actually a treat to recognize Robin, but it's a sad treat to see Robin Bartleman leave us. So Robin, I want you to please note that we're all going to miss you so very much. You've added so much to our CSC Council. I know you're going to speak in a few minutes, but we just wanted you to know that for those of you who don't know, Robin has sat with us. She's been an outstanding member of our council. She sat with us for 12 years. So that's service right there. Exemplary service, I might add. And we did deliver, I believe, Robin, a little box to you. Did you receive that?
Yeah, they told me not to open it.
They told you not to open it because we want to see your absolute surprise and shock when you do.
Okay, hold on.
And so while you're doing that, I want to give Cindy an opportunity to say a few words. And then I know council members would like to speak as well. So if you could just let us know that you'd like to speak, we'll make sure you can. Okay, Cindy, over to you.
So Robin's involvement with the CSC actually started with SNAC, with the Special Needs Advisory Coalition, where as a school board member, she was co-chair of the SNAC. And so with Lori Salarulo, who was the councilman, you want to show everybody? We can pretend to hand it to you.
Thank you. I love it. Thank you guys.
Her commitment to to our children with special needs is really extraordinary. And she has always been an incredible advocate for them and for all children. But as co-chair there, she brought her passion and commitment. And then when coming on to the council, it's been 12 years of passion. Her, as I said, her commitment to our children, the connection to the school district, and making those connections everywhere that she can to make sure that we are filling gaps that we're supposed to fill. And so, Robin, personally, professionally, it's been a pleasure working with you. I will miss you very much, but I know that I'll be camping out in your office in Tallahassee, so you won't get far from me or from CSC, just in a different capacity. Thank you for everything that you've done.
I'll jump in here if that's okay.
Thank you, Beam. Go ahead.
Okay, Robin, we're definitely going to miss you. You've been an incredible member of this board. Your passion has made its way into policy more than once, and that says a lot. But I don't really feel like we're saying goodbye, because I think what you're going to be able to do in Tallahassee is going to be able to just hit the ground running. Help us. You're going to be able to help us the same with our policies up there. And so this isn't goodbye. I know you've got a lot of work ahead of you. And we're really going to be proud of you up there. So look forward to working with you, and we're going to miss you.
Miss you guys.
No crying.
No crying. No crying.
I didn't think I was gonna get emotional, but I.
No. Okay. Well, while she's crying, anybody else want to?
Madam Chair, may I?
Yes, please, Dawn.
So, Robin, I haven't been as lucky as the rest of the folks on this board to work with you for so long, since I haven't been on it that long. But I love your honesty. I always love sitting next to you at all of our board meetings, because I know how honest you're going to be. I truly, truly admire and respect that. And I'm going to miss working with you. And I really wish you the best of luck.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. So I guess I'll just say thank you, because if anyone else talks, I'm going to be so sad.
Okay, Robin, the floor is yours.
Okay, so I just want to say that it has been an honor to be on this council. I started, like Cindy said, with Snack and with Herm Fishbane, who we lost, and then we lost. And Cindy said, we have an idea for special needs, and we want you and Lori to work together and identify gaps for students with disabilities. And I thought, what a great idea. And we did so many, our first needs assessment, and we met goals, and we did amazing. And then when I had the opportunity to serve on the council, I didn't realize that I was going to have a whole new family. And I love the employees and the board and everyone at CSC. You guys, you become a family. You embrace us as board members. And really, it was the best part of my job, because I never have to worry about CSC. I don't ever have to, as a board member, I know that everything is running smooth, perfect. Everything is in the best interest of children. Our budget's going to be great. Every program we put together is going to be amazing. And so it's just been wonderful. And Cindy, I'm going to miss you so much. I can't tell you the respect I have for you, and how I've seen you pull this community together in our most tragic times, and how you've stepped up as a leader. And so I cannot thank you enough for that. And, the only time I felt a sense of urgency on this council was when we were going out for the referendum that we are in existence forever. And it was a lot of pressure, because I was the chair at that time. And I remember hitting every business chamber, everywhere I could go, to tell people, you have to keep CSC. So I guess that'll be part of my what I did to make a difference, because now you'll be here forever. And I hope when I get elected that I already spoke to Megan. I said, give me your bill ideas, because I will carry the torch for CSC. And I just love you all so much. And personally, I hope that you all will remain my friends. I know many of you are my friends before, after, but I want to stay in touch. And I have enjoyed every minute working with all of you. And thank you so much. And we overlap. Beam and I do different things together. Marie and I have been on DJ Day together. And I know Dr. Thatchy's here, and it's been an honor to serve with her. She usually sits next to me, and I make her crazy eating my strawberries and drinking my coffee. And but I want to just give a shout out to her, because I know she's working 24/7 during this pandemic, and I haven't had an opportunity to just turn to you and say thank you for your leadership. So you guys, I love you, and I'm so sad, and I'm going to miss you, but I'm so proud of all the work we've done. So thank you guys.
Thank you, Robin. And again, from all of us to you, thank you so much for the work that you've done for not only for Children's Services Council, but for the community as a whole. And I know you're going to continue that incredible service and that incredible leadership as you go forward in your career. So if we can help you in any way, we're here for you, and you will always be a part of the CSC family.
Now I know how Anna felt. I told Anna today it's going to be so sad. And it really is. It's terrible. This is
well, you're always welcome. You can zoom in from Tallahassee.
All right, I will.
And as you know, there's no no person that could take place of Robin Bartleman, but there will be a new representative appointed by the school board at their meeting in mid-November, which is actually about 2 days before our meeting in November. So as such, we're not sure when we'll get to welcome our new representative, but it'll either be in November or at our January council. So.
And Don, I hope whoever it is, they're as much fun as I am to sit next to.
I truly hope so as well.
We'll put strawberries and coffee at that desk, just in your honor, Robin.
That would be perfect. I love this, you guys. Thank you. And more importantly, I like my mask as well. Whoever gave me that, they know me very well. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Robin. Okay, we must move on. So Cindy, your residence report, please. Oh, yes.
Oh,
Robin, your legacy will definitely live on, both as the for keeping us in perpetuity, and for I always have you in the back of my head when we're thinking about how much fund balance to use when balancing the next year's budget. So,
and the behavior kids.
And the behavior kids.
You got to look out for them. My little group, what were there, 5 of them one year?
But speaking of legacies, I would like to ask for a moment of silence in honor of a giant in our community who passed away last week. He was an amazing advocate and philanthropist for children, a dear, dear friend. We were joined at the hip when it came to setting the course for the Early Learning Coalition, where we served together for about 12 years, I think. Excuse me. When it came to the child welfare system, he and Marcia, just a powerhouse couple. And in fact, were the first recipients. You know how we run the Broward Aware Protecting Our Children campaign. And they were the first recipients of the Champion of Child Abuse and Neglect Prevention Award from Broward Aware. And it is now named after them, the Alan and Marcia Levy Champion of Child Abuse and Neglect Award. So his memory, we were just talking before the meeting started, Kathy and I, about the tributes last night at a little memorial service for him. Well, it wasn't so little. It was large, as befitting a man whose impact on the community was so large, and just the beautiful stories and contributions that he has made. And so if we could have a moment of silence as I look at that beautiful smile of his. Thank you. Thank you, Kathy, for giving me the chance to publicly speak of my admiration and love for Alan.
We agree with you, Cindy. He will be truly missed. He is a pillar of our community, and I know Marcia is going to need lots of support. So we'll wrap our arms around her as well. And we've lost a true leader in Broward. So thank you for honoring him this way.
Okay, so a lot of good stuff has been happening in the midst of the madness. We had a very successful candidate connection that was co-sponsored by CSC, United Way, and the Jewish Federation. We had all of the freshmen, all of the candidates who will either for sure be entering their first year in the legislature, because at this point they are unopposed, or both sides of election where they're seeking to fill a vacancy. So the turnout was really great. Robin was there with her opponent, and she did a great job. She made us very proud.
Call from name unavailable.
That's always important. Good old name unavailable, they like to call. So we had, I forget how many of the nonprofits, but I think it was something like 80 nonprofits on, and we had given all of the candidates an opportunity to do an opening statement. Then there were some questions for them, that different ones, everybody got to answer 2 questions, and then they had closing statement. It was really good, and I have to commend Megan on our staff and Heather and Heather Davidson who was from United Way and is now has moved away and become a mommy, and Evan Goldman, who will, although he is technically Jewish Federation, will always be a CSC staff member. They put it together under these really bizarre circumstances, and it flowed beautifully. I think our plan is to do something similar after the election. So very excited about that. Thank you, Robin, for your participation.
Thank you.
And great job to Megan. We have some events coming up. The Girls Virtual Summit. I know several of you, Kathy, loved the first Girls Summit, and it
was good.
This one's going to be virtual on Saturday. So we'll see how that goes. But so far, virtual summits have gone reasonably well. So with our team involved, I'm confident it will be great. Between CSC and PACE, they do great work. So that will be happening on Saturday. You can still register, I think, if you would like. On October 22nd, we are being honored by the UN Association Broward County Chapter as one of their 2020 UN Day honorees. So kind of cool. That should be interesting. So we have provided them with everything that they wanted, and will be accepting the award on the 22nd. Of course, Broward Read for the record. This is we're doing it. We're being, and I use the royal we here because Sandra and the team who have put it together are amazing. We have a ridiculous number of both public and private childcare centers that are public schools and private childcare centers that are going to be participating. The numbers keep going up every day. We're still getting volunteers, but where we don't have a volunteer, they can get to see this version, which features a couple of people that you should recognize, but the co-chairs of the of Broward Reads, who are Beam and Dan Gohl and Renee Jaffe and I, will show you a little sampling of what we put together.
Oh, dear.
Whoops, Andrew, no good with no sound. Not very effective reading if you can't hear it.
Lip reading. We're lip reading.
Hello, everybody.
Better.
It is that time of year again where
Little muffled.
reads for the record.
Hi, I'm Renee Jaffe, and I'm from the Early Learning Coalition of Broward County.
Hello, my name is Dan Gohl, and I work for Broward County Public Schools.
Yay, Dan.
I'm Cindy, and today I'm going to read to you Evelyn Del Rey is Moving Away.
Evelyn Del Rey is my mejor amiga, my numero uno best friend. Come play, Daniela, she says, just like she always does. Just like today is any other day.
So I bundle up and I cross the street. A big truck with its mouth wide open is parked at the curb, ready to gobble up Evelyn's mirror with the stickers around the edge, her easel for painting on a rainy day, and the sofa that we bounce on to get to the moon.
She is waiting for me inside the iron doors. Then we climb the steps, 2 at a time, just like we always do. We can see the friends running on the 2nd floor that they must have bounded up these steps to get to.
You left off me, Andrew?
But there at the beginning, you didn't see yourself?
You stopped before I got to read a page. I read the next page. Oh, well.
Oh,
I trust you all know that I can read.
Yes, you did a good job, Cindy. Very good. Beam, yeah, I think you might have a new career opportunity there. You could be a virtual reader, for our books that we're reading online these days.
Anytime, anytime.
As a librarian, I expect perfection, Beam. It was awesome.
We always had to do book talk, so.
I know. I was just thinking somebody should have said, "Oh, it's personification with the truck opening its mouth." Like I was thinking of all the teachable moments. It's a really good book.
Very cute.
Really nice
Thank
book.
you guys for doing the video. That's a great idea.
And I have to commend M Network because what they did was we all recorded it and we were told, how to use our screen, etc. And then they put it all together. And I think they did a really nice job between all of us and the book and showing each page. If you get a chance.
Better, Cindy, when it's actually presented.
Yeah, well, it's easier if you're seeing it directly, not shared.
Yeah.
The sound is much clearer.
Okay.
Andrew, is it on our YouTube page now?
Yes, it is. It's on our YouTube page, and I can send the link in the chat.
We'll go to it and see your final debut there.
What's the title on YouTube?
Broward Reads for the Record.
2020?
I will send the link, the YouTube link.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, so when it comes to racial equity and our CPAR work, the Community Participatory Action Research, it's an intense project, and it was not terribly expensive, but the impact is really these ripples that keep going out in some really impressive ways. So the Florida State University Institute for Child Welfare highlighted our work in their annual report and as a research brief on their website, as you can see right there. This project was funded by them, so that makes sense, but they loved it. And then the VIPs, the very important parents and youth system organizers, were highlighted as strategies by FICWA because, and Dawn knows this because she's seen them at the, wow, I didn't, that was funny. You didn't even know I was going to say her name. How did
that worked out?
That really did. That wasn't in my notes at all. I was just ad-libbing the fact that Dawn has been working with them through the CFLA and of course as her role at DCF, and she has been selected by the TIL Youth to serve as a system professional leadership team member, as you can see. So, but FICWA highlighted the way we implemented the racial equity lens into the management and evaluation of the child welfare system. They also highlighted how it's empowered system participants to mutually administer the child welfare system by ensuring their full inclusion with the system professionals who administer, manage, and evaluate the child welfare system. It's been really interesting to see the parents and the youth find their voice and be able to really express themselves and have the professionals listen to them. And we've gotten great feedback. It was led by CSC's Drs. Gallagher, Campbell, and Dassey. We have a whole slew of PhDs on staff. And we also it wound up with the council awarding the child welfare system youth organizing process. And now comes the part that is why, like magic, Andrew had Dawn's picture there, because there was apparently a competitive process to be selected by the TIL youth to serve as the system professional leadership team that was chosen by the youth system organizers. So way to go, Dawn, for earning their trust. Dr. Shantae Campbell, who's a research manager at CSC, and Tiffany Kazanka, who's the CPAR parent, one of the CPAR parent co-researchers, participated in a podcast with the Florida Institute for Child Welfare on October 7th. And several of the CPAR co-researchers, along with our staff, are going to be presenting their work to DCF administration, their regional and community liaisons, and other statewide child welfare system partners that will be moderated by Dawn Liberta. So it's been, it's really, the ripples are happening, and it's just wonderful to see. We heard from, at the last CFLA meeting, the state attorney's office was talking about how impactful it was to hear from the parents and youth. We've already heard about how it has affected those who work in CPIS. So it's pretty powerful. Dawn, I don't know if you want to add anything. You don't have to, but if you'd like to, I'll take a breath so you can.
I would love to. So for our YSO group, I have to be honest, that interview was probably more intense than any interview I have done in my professional career. They did such an amazing job with such amazing questions. I was somewhat taken back by the entire thing. But the best part about it for me is that they have some really fantastic ideas on how to change the system. And I think that the reality is that for years, we've been trying to improve the child welfare system. And I don't think that this concept has ever been done the way it's being done now. And I think that we're going to have such amazing recommendations moving forward and being able to push policy. And I'm just really proud to be part of it.
Thank you.
Well, and I just want to add that we're lucky to have you advocating for child welfare on our behalf. So thank you.
Thank you.
And we are looking at employing this methodology of really using the community to, as co-researchers, to build these bonds between system professionals and the community, and the CPAR work has the potential to really be transformative in so many areas, and we're looking at employing it in a lot of places. Especially now, the next thing that will be coming up is the trauma work, as we continue to deepen and look for the ways that we can really meet the needs of the community. It's slower. It's a little frustrating because we like to, and by we I mean me, but I think you guys as well. You know, we want to just solve problems. We see a problem and we just want to solve it. And this is requiring a lot more patience to make sure that we're solving the right problem. And maybe it's not even us solving it. You know, it's really listening and providing the opportunity for people to solve their problems, creating those connections. So stay tuned, lots more to come. And finally, at the Florida Children's Council, I just wanted to let you know, for those who have been up to Tallahassee with me, that our state association has a new CEO. It's Michelle Watson, who a couple of you, I think, have had the opportunity to meet. She's been a consultant for the council for many years, especially in the areas of early childhood, but she has background in a lot of different areas. She's incredibly smart. She's very organized and a great strategic thinker and analyzer. So I am excited to have her come on board as the CEO. She should be able to, she has already hit the ground running since she was already familiar with us. And she promises she's going to stay longer than Matt Goosey, who didn't even last 2 years, which I always take as a personal affront. But he got an offer of a job that was a dream for him, and he couldn't refuse it. So exciting to have Michelle on board. I have to find out who took that picture for her, because I want to get my picture. I want to look like that.
Yeah, she looks great, doesn't she? I think she's a great choice for that position. So I will look forward to, we will all look forward to see what great things she can do.
So that concludes my good of the order. If there's any questions before I move on to COVID.
COVID it is, Cindy.
All right, COVID it is. So you had an issue paper behind tab 26 that kind of outlines what we've been up to. The clear masks were ordered. The food has been, what Andrew has done with the food distribution goes so far beyond the money that we've put in. Yes, we've put some extra money in over what we normally do in food. You've built in additional dollars already for next year to grow how much, what we're funding. We may be coming back to you for more, but it's been a lot more than the quantity of food. It's really been, as so much of what CSC does, is looking for those holes and making connections. So finding out that some church is trying to do a food distribution, but they can't find food, and we know where the food is, and we get them together. And when we get them together, we don't just get them food, we get them resource guides. For the last 6 months, we've been doing census cards. We get them, just all kinds of information, masks, PPE, whatever it is that we want to get into the hands of the people, we make sure that that happens. When we were distributing the backpacks, which, Sandra had to reconfigure that whole backpack distribution, those people got food as well, connecting them to the nonprofit. So we really try to look holistically and take advantage of every connection that we have with our children and families. When it comes to the learning pods, we've also, those got up and running pretty fast for the most part. It was a huge task, and it was unclear when the schools were coming back, as I'm sure we've all followed that drama with the little craziness thrown in. The school board, I want to commend Mr. Runcie and Robin and her colleagues. This is just not easy. This balance of health and safety and needing to get children educated, it's in a school district this size, it's just not an easy feat. And so they take a lot of hits, and certainly not everything has been perfect. But when you read about other districts across the country that are a lot smaller, dealing with a lot fewer children, they're having even worse problems. But anyway, our little piece of this pie has been the pods, and they got up and running pretty well. Most of them were full, though not all. Some, their eyes were bigger than their stomach, to use an analogy. They thought hundreds would come, and then that didn't quite work out, but it has gone well. As instructed, they will be closing now that schools are open, except there are 5 schools that the district couldn't open because of mold problems. And so we've told those programs that serve those children to stay open because they'll still need the support. And I think that's it on the pods. We're working with ELC on those pods. I think they are also going to close because we do want the children to go to school if they can. Okay, any questions on pods or masks or food? Yeah, Robin.
I just want to make sure, I anticipate that the numbers are going to go up and get worse, that we just are ready to pivot to help. Usually the people now who've had the opportunity to go back to work with their kids, and some people have actually gotten reemployed now that the schools are open. So we just need to be ready. Already we're seeing isolated cases in different places, and I just don't know how we're going to be able to keep this up. If we're already in the first week and we have cases popping up. So, and I guess Dr. Thatchy would know better than I, but it looks like with the fall and the winter and the flu season coming, it's going to be a problem. So I just want to be ready. I won't be here, but it's really important to have those pods. And for the council, the biggest deal to me about the pods when we talked about it in our Special Needs Advisory Coalition is that I live out here in Weston. And everybody's putting Facebook posts about, we're going to put together a pod and we're going to pay a teacher $1,000 a week with 5 parents, and we're going to split it, and our kids are going to be in a bubble and they're going to get the best. But for children and parents who can't afford that, it's a huge disparity, and it's a real problem for me that this exists. And so I was really happy that we stepped up and created those pods, especially for the ESC students, because if you think about it, it's just going to further expand the achievement gap. And the kids who need it the most aren't getting the services. So it's just, I want to thank you guys for doing that.
Oh.
Hey, Cindy?
Yeah, go ahead, Beam.
Did you happen to see the report that came out today from Yale University regarding the daycare programs and talking about virtually no risk of transmitting COVID-19 to adults? This is the largest study of 57,000 U.S. childcare providers. It's in the Wall Street Journal today. Just something to look at.
I'll take a look.
I was surprised to see that, but it was released this morning. So something for us to take a look at.
I'm not sure if Dr. Thatchy would want to speak to that. But
Yeah, I have not had a chance to check the source and all that, other than it's in the Wall Street Journal, and other than it's from Yale University.
Those are good sources.
Yeah. I mean, it's not just out of the
What's the title, Beam, so I can look for it while we're.
Title of it is let's see, from the Wall Street Journal. The title is "Daycare Centers Are Very Low Risk for COVID-19 Transmission comma, study says. Wall
Okay.
Street Journal from this morning, October 14th, 2020.
Was the study done when the percentages were like the lowest?
I have not read the entire article
I'm gonna read
because I don't subscribe there. I'm only getting the annotation of it. But it's a study of 57,000 U.S. child care providers. It's supposedly it is the largest study done to date. So anyway, something for us to look at. Like I said, I have not had a chance to fact check it.
Okay. Cindy, shall I go ahead and get a motion?
There's no motion on tab 26. On tab 27, the COVID-19 emergency fund. So as you can see, what we were thinking, when we last March, we had no idea what was going to come and whether we were going to be able to meet again. And knowing that we would need to respond quickly, I had asked, and you granted me a fund of $500,000 that within the parameters you set, I could authorize that funding to get it out as quickly as possible. We did use up that entire fund throughout the year. Some of it, I mean, you approved all of it. It was used for things like food and PPE and for the pods, as you all approved. Everything, if I did, some of it you approved in advance, some of it you approved after, but it allowed us also to account for it as sort of a, how much we spent on COVID. As we enter this next year, it seemed a prudent idea to establish another emergency fund, less at this time because we'll have, I don't anticipate as big of a rush of a need, but we can always come back and add more money to it. I mean, now that we know that there are meetings and we likely will meet, except of course, from November until January, this will give me flexibility to be able to do things in between those meetings. So that's what I was looking for, and that's why it was 250 as opposed to the 500. If we do have to go back and do the pods again, it likely will run into more money than that, but within the programs that we're currently funding, they can pivot using the money that they have, and we'd have to backfill later, if that makes sense.
If I could, Kathy, okay?
Yes, please, Tom, go ahead.
Okay. My only concern or issue would be here, we probably need to start looking at some of this. If we go at the same rate we're going, we're looking at $1 million, about $1 million next year. And so maybe we need to prioritize as we're moving forward. Nobody knew this since March what was going to happen, but now we've got some predictions that in just over 6 months, we went through $500,000. If this thing continues for the year, we're into it for $1 million next year. So we want to watch it kind of close, I think.
Yes, you're correct, Tom, and I wouldn't be surprised if it got there, but I think it will be different. We were out early with the PPE. That has changed, those needs and the availability of masks. In fact, I forgot to mention that we're getting a donation, completely free donation of 100,000 disposable masks. Thanks to Lori Salarulo, who connected us with somebody who she knew, I think out of California, who said, how many do you need? And we said 100,000, and they're either on their way or they just arrived. So things that we were paying for and things that were quite expensive at the beginning, not so much now. The food, some of those additions that we did on food have now been built into the budget because they were anticipated as being more need. So I don't think the spend down on those kinds of things is going to be as high. That said, if we have to go back to the pods, if there's another shutdown and the pods are needed, that will be a big expense because they're more expensive due to the small ratios than our typical after school programs. But we did intentionally start this year with 2 million in unallocated, knowing that there were going to be these kinds of needs that would require a rapid response that we couldn't know in advance what they would be. So I hope that answers the question. But yes, you're absolutely correct.
Okay, thank you, Tom. So may I have a motion, please, under tab 27 to approve establishing a COVID-19 emergency fund for the year 2021?
So move.
Second.
Need further discussion? Angie, any public comment?
No public comment.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? There are no abstentions. Motion carries.
Okay, Madam Chair, that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy. Okay, then Sandra, our Chief Communication Officer's report, please, under tab 28.
Morning. Under tab 28, the issues mini grant awards for fiscal year 2021. I need your approval for these awards and the related support for fiscal year 2021. Just so we do a little bit of background, we have been doing these mini grant awards since 2016, and I think that we've been very, very creative in mixing, giving folks some money, but also giving them coaching through the Small Business Development Corps and through Network for Good. This year, we have 7 agencies who are awardees, and they're listed on the sheet. A good mix. So I ask for your approval or if there are any questions.
Okay, may I have a motion to approve the capacity mini grant awards, please?
So move.
Second.
Any discussion? Going to take that as a no.
David and Jeffrey sat on the committee.
No
Do
comment.
you want to add anything?
It was a great process and privileged to get involved. Great team, Sandra and Adama and Roxanne. You guys, your leadership shows. And I looked at the scores and they're very reflective of what the consensus.
Yeah, I echo Jeff. It was a phenomenal process, very fluid, very well informed. Communication was great throughout. Sandra and the team, Adama, everyone just did. Roxanne, just a phenomenal job. It was a pleasure to go through it. And everyone on the committees were well-intentioned, gave great feedback to the process, and just a great job overall and a wonderful experience to participate.
Thank you.
Jeffrey, both of you for sitting again in this capacity. It's just wonderful. I love that you do it. I love that our council gets so involved because that's when you really see who we're helping, how we're helping, and how great our team is. So thank you again to both of you for taking the time out of your crazy busy schedules to do that. Thank you. Okay, so that was discussion. We had no public comment.
No public comment.
Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any nays? And no abstention, motion carries. Thank you, Sandra. Okay, Monty, under tab 29, our Chief Operating Officer's report, please.
Good morning. So the first item, it's an annual event. We do an inventory every year, and we dispose of those old computers and servers. Sometimes we cannibalize them, and if there's some life to them, we go ahead and donate it to a third party who refurbishes and then puts them back out there as part of to resolve the digital divide. This year, there is an extra item on the typical disposal, and the state has finally, after I don't know, years and years, 20 years or more, raised their threshold to capitalize equipment. We've been doing this on the CAFR anyway, but now in our system, it will be raised from 1,000 to 5,000. We will still track all electronic equipment because there's a useful life of more than 1 year, and we'll track it in our system, but we won't record it as an asset. And we're also going to slightly increase the threshold when our providers use funds to purchase compute. It's primarily computers and stuff, and that's usually done at the first part of an RFP, so that they'll get the full benefit of the useful life of that asset.
Okay, thank you, Monty. So can I have a motion, please, to approve the threshold for disposal of fixed assets?
So move.
Second.
Thank you for the second. Any further discussion? Angie, any public comment?
No public comment.
Thank you, Angie. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any nays? There are no abstentions. Motion carried.
So you will notice that there's not any financial statements this time because this is our year end, September, and we're in the process of closing out the fiscal year. We will bring to you November, the interim financial statements for the year, and that becomes our basis for the CAFR. So that you are missing. And the next item is the purchases. There's really nothing too much to be, to highlight unless there's any questions.
Okay, can I have a motion, please, to approve the invoices and POs and contracts under tab 30?
Move. Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Angie, any public comment?
No public comment.
Thank you, Angie. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any nays? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Monty. Okay, Beam, you're up. Beam, are you there? Broward reads for the record.
I am. Forgot to unmute myself. We had a Broward Reads meeting, a virtual one, with large participation. The first thing that I wanted to mention was, once again, we won the award with the campaign for grade level reading, and it had, I think the one that we won really means the most because it had to do with proficiency and third grade and being proficient at third grade, which is what the whole thing is all about. And we won that award. So first of all, thanks for Sandra and everybody who did the application. But the real thanks there goes beyond it. This is a community-wide award because this doesn't happen unless all the teachers are on board, parents are on board, kids are doing it. This is a cross the district showing proficiency, and we've watched this go for 5 years. And Robin, you should be proud of your school board and all your teachers. We've watched this progression. We haven't seen any backsliding yet. So 5 or 6 years in a row now, we're seeing a really good trend. Now, I can only imagine it gets harder and harder to keep that up. But one of the things that I was found hope with was in our meeting, we were told that the child care centers are doing more training right now than they've ever done because of Zoom. They're actually being able to do it through this platform in ways that they were never able to do it. And I hope that we were able to kind of leverage that, capitalize on that, whatever way we can. They're getting their necessary training to keep their CDA, their degree, the degree that allows them to work in a child care center. But I think it's a chance to actually go past that, because that is such a low bar, to be honest. To try to get them to the point where they are actually maybe getting an AA degree or BA degree in early education and trying to enlist Broward College or Nova to say, you know what, you've got a captive audience here. You've got a lot of, because the biggest obstacle for many of the child care workers, well, there's two. The pay is horrible. And who knows what happens when one of these amendments might pass in November. That's one thing. But the other part of it was transportation, of trying to get child care workers, they've already worked a whole day, and try to get them to get to a class somewhere all the way across the county was a really difficult and a very hard thing to ask of those workers. The fact that we now are finding that they're willing to do and are able to do this, use this platform to maybe take them to the next step, is a way that I think can kind of provide synergy and may be able to keep that trend going, that we're happy that we're dealing with proficiency, because it's, as we all know, it starts early. And if we can get all these childcare workers really well trained, and all of our kids back in daycare, I'll be honest, that I read that report this morning. I didn't read the whole report. I read the headline and the blurb. But if that's true, and if parents can start feeling comfortable sending their kids back, because what we heard was only about 30% were going back at this point. And many of those were first responders, kids. If we can get them back and keep them being, on this trend line, that's a good look for our entire county, and something we should be, both trying to emphasize, trying to encourage, and hopefully we can, look forward to the future of our county on this.
Steve, thank you for sharing that. I think Zoom has opened the doors to opportunity, not only in training, but just getting more people connected and involved. So absolutely.
I don't think it was being considered prior to this.
Exactly.
And now it's like, oh, you know what? This is doable. So
it works. In certain formats, it works, and sometimes it works better. So
yeah, and for that group that has a hard time with transportation as it is, and this provides so much opportunity for them that we should be looking at how can we help that along. I think we have a strong role to play here in trying to encourage that.
Thank you. Any comments? Okay, then we will move on to Maria and her Funders Forum report. Morning, Maria.
Hi, good morning, everybody. So we had Funders Forum about a week and a half ago. The minutes are not.
Oh, she froze.
Come back.
Okay, we'll come back to Maria. I will ask at this time, is there any public comment? Angie, anybody signed up for public comment?
No public comments.
No public comment. Okay, Maria, please let me know if you're back.
I can at least tell you the rest of the sentence she was saying. They only met a week and a half ago, so there wasn't time to get the minutes together to put them in the packet. You'll get them next month, but it was a productive meeting, a lot of discussion about the pods. Because again, that was not, CSC pulled the folks together, and we are the biggest funder, but it really couldn't have happened without the incredible collaboration that went on with the United Way, the Jewish Federation, the A.D. Henderson Foundation, the Jim Moran Foundation, the DeLuca Foundation. Everybody pulled together. And so it was really a great way. I know there are many who are concerned about double, funding, or, that duplicate funding. So we are working together to make sure that that doesn't happen. And it's really, it is amazing. We do walk the walk here in Broward. Collaborate. We have the name Collaboration County for a good reason. And I'm happy to say even the county is now starting to reach out and
You sound so
see
surprised.
where that goes. Dean, what'd you say?
You sound so surprised.
Well, we're not quite there yet, but
I know, I
did get
know.
a phone call that was encouraging. So I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. Maria is texting me to say that she has to restart her computer, so we shouldn't wait. So I think I told you pretty much what she was going to say.
Do you think we should take that as a sign that maybe Zoom doesn't work as well for meetings? The fact that she got off right after we'd said how great Zoom is?
I know,
Oh, well.
I know.
Oh, well. Maria, we understand. We understand. I had the fire department come during a Zoom meeting I was hosting when I was in Canada, so that was exciting. But anyway, I digress. Okay, so council members roundtable, respite RFP. And I ask Piper and Jessica and Gloria, Marissa, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Good morning. So Respite 2021 is under goal 10.1 to strengthen the continuum of care for children with special needs. And it's found under objective 4. The CSC respite services help to reduce family stressors and strengthen family functioning by providing assistance in meeting the child's care needs, offering the child opportunities for growth and development, and maintaining or enhancing the quality of life for children and their families. Next slide. The scheduled release date for the respite RFP is February 1st, 2021. The pre-bid conference is scheduled for February 9th, 2021. And then we have our financial viability deadline February 26th. The full RFP application deadline is March 15th. Applicant interviews are scheduled for April 28th, 2021. And then the full council award determination will go back on May 20th, 2021 to all of you. Since 2002, the council has supported behavioral health prevention services. We've had similar programming and funding with respite RFPs in 2007, 2012, and 2017. Next, I'm going to bring the presentation over to Jessica to talk about the community landscape.
Thank you, Piper. So in the community, minimal respite services are available for children with behavioral health needs. And most children participating in CSC-funded respite currently live in a single-parent household. Next slide. Our desired population is children aged 5 to 13 years who have behavioral health needs or behavior concerns that severely disrupt daily functioning in their home, school, and community. The first step in participating in the respite program is the individual assessment. These are strengths-based and completed with the family initially to determine service eligibility and are continued annually. Next to present is our Senior Planning and Research Manager, Gloria Pudiak, who will give an overview of the assessments for this RFP.
Thank you, Jessica. Both of these new intake assessment tools are new for our respite program. They are free, brief, do not require a clinician, and have good research support. The SDQ will help determine levels of disruptive behavior in children not yet formally diagnosed. Conduct disorder, for example, is not typically diagnosed until late childhood or early teens. The SDQ will be administered by respite staff to caregivers. The CAIA comes out of Duke University. The score reveals the impact of a child's disruptive behavior on the caregiver and the family stress burden. Together, these tools can be used to determine which family requires more respite hours. Research consistently finds high unmet need for respite services for this population. Thank you.
Thank you, Gloria. We're really excited to be infusing these new assessments into the RFP. Next is the out-of-home respite, which provides care for the child in a location other than the child's home. It may consist of either facility-based care or supervised developmentally appropriate activities in the community. We do maintain a 1-to-4 ratio with all the respite services. And the availability of care to accommodate the needs of caregivers is made to the greatest extent possible. There is a schedule and calendar that is provided each month. And there's also flexibility to allow parents to divide allotted respite hours into half days of 4 hours or full days of 8 hours. So some other new opportunities in the Respite 2021 RFP is a tiered approach that will provide more caregivers respite services. And to address the diverse needs of our community, we're looking to expand having respite services on both Saturday options and some weekends on Sunday. And then wonderfully, we are also looking to expand this funding to provide more opportunities for respite services. Jessica is now going to talk about a change to the social skills curriculum.
Thank you, Piper. So PATHS, or Promoting Alternative Thinking Strategies, is new to Respite as a social skills curriculum, but has been part of CSC after school programming since 2008. The curriculum is evidence-based and has proven effective in reducing aggression and improving social, behavior, and self-management skills in children with emotional or behavioral disabilities. In addition to PATHS, art and music will remain a key component, with providers using the Broward Cultural Arts Directory to provide engaging on-site enrichment activities. Now going to turn it over to Marissa Aquino, our Planning and Evaluation Manager, who will outline the program's performance measures.
Thank you, Jessica. Respite performance measures consist of surveys administered to parents and youth that capture satisfaction with services and improvements in relationship and stress levels. Next, thank you. As you can see from this chart, both fiscal years of 17-18 and 18-19, the respite programs have exceeded the council goals in satisfaction of services and reducing caregiving stress. Next slide, please. We are adding the option to propose learning outcomes, which aligns with the enhanced outcome evaluation process that we have undergone in the last few years. Providers will be able to propose outcomes they are interested in evaluating that may help to enhance service delivery. Next slide. Oh, and the conclusion. On behalf of the Respite RFP team, I would like to thank you for your time.
Thank you, everybody. That was well presented. Any questions?
Madam Chair, this is Dawn. May I?
Yes, please. Go ahead, Dawn.
Thank you. I have two questions. So I know that you stated in your presentation, which was great, by the way, thank you. And I'm so glad about seeing these respite services because I really do think they're needed in our community. I'm going to apologize because my dogs are about to bark. You said that they either would do 4 or 8 hours, right, of respite time. Are there specific hours during the day that they're able to do it? Can it be overnight, or is it just during daytime hours?
If I may, these are fully daytime hours, generally 8 to 5 on a Saturday or a Sunday. We don't allow Friday nights and we don't allow overnights.
Thank you. And then my next question is there any specific behavioral issues a child could have that would disqualify them for this program?
We do have an exclusion for older youth if they are having challenges with substance abuse.
Thank you.
Any other questions? I have one. How do our people find out about this opportunity? Because I think that's another issue that we have where people don't know that these services are available. So how are they being introduced into the community?
We have a variety of ways that people are hearing about the program. It may be a school counselor, our family strengthening programs, when the family's completed family strengthening, but there's still a need for respite for the caregiver. There's referrals through that. We've received referrals from 211 and then a lot of parents just sharing with other parents.
Thank you. And you hit on where I was trying to go, 211. So anyone in the community that really is looking for this type of help can call 211 and they will be directed to our. So thank you. Anybody else want to ask any questions?
Madam Chair, if
Yes.
I could just add something. So yeah, and don't forget, we have the special needs hotline that also has the case management component. So that's another way that if they get to 211, they could get here. So the team did mention additional funding in this area. We've been pretty level almost since it started, going up really only by the COLA. But we do see the demand increasing. And so that is something obviously staff doesn't get to determine, but when we bring it to you in May, we'll be looking at adding some funding there to expand the availability of services. So we know that the need really outstrips what we've been able to provide so far. And so through that combination of the 4 and 8 hour blocks and some additional funding, we're hoping to also bring another provider into the mix, because we've been stagnant at just 2 and they're doing a great job. That's nothing, it's always a competitive process. They're doing a great job, but I think there are others just to expand the availability around the community. So yes, as you can see, those are basically at each RFP, it's basically just been an acknowledgement of the increase in the costs of care, but not really a growth in the number of providers or growth substantially in the number of children who can be served.
Cindy, who are the existing providers?
It's Smith Community Mental Health and Memorial. And that's another way that they find, it's also families that they serve that also seek the respite.
Okay, well, thank you and great job to Piper, Jessica, Gloria, Marissa. Thank you very much. That was very informative. We appreciate you taking the time to explain in such detail to us the process, and thank you for your work. Okay, if there's nothing further, any further comments from the council? Then I would like to say respectfully, meeting adjourned. See you next month in November. Thank you, everybody, for your time.
Thank you all.
Thank
Robin,
you.
bye. We miss you.
Bye.
Good luck.
Miss you guys.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye, guys.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.